If I don't save the world, who is? You have to understand, my husband and I both have been driving electric cars for 12, 15 years. We have a solar roof. We don't use liquid soaps at our house. Like, we are really all in as much as you can be. So I just thought, well, why wouldn't I do that at a store?
Welcome to Ecophonia, the sustainability podcast that's not actually about sustainability. As it turns out, this show is about cheesecake, pop music, quilting, marketing, basketball, hiking, puppets, comedy, you name it. This show is about the things you are already passionate about. But it's also about how sustainability intersects those things and how you can make a real difference. My goal is to connect you with real people making a real impact and teach you the methodologies to make systemic change. Today, I connected with Jennifer Saltzman, founder of Jennifer Pennifer Bakes, a bakery in Los Angeles, California. I really wanted to highlight how sustainability can be incorporated into your business no matter what size you are. Jennifer has a focus on cheesecake, and might I add, quite delicious cheesecake. I got the opportunity to sample a few of the cheesecakes, and I would not pass up the cookie butter. Anyway, sustainability can be overwhelming, but a little bit of passion can have ripple effects. To kick off this episode, I asked Jennifer to introduce herself.
So I'm Jennifer Saltzman, and I have this small little bakery in West LA. We specialize in mini cheesecakes, although we do make larger ones. It started about 15 years ago when I baked for my niece's wedding, and my cousins all said, "Why are you a teacher? You should be baking." And so here I am. I really strive to make artisan food. So we have cheesecakes, great coffee from Trinidad Coffee Company, salad, sandwiches, breakfast pastries, but it's all small batch. And I also really don't believe in adding to the plastic pollution that's already out here. So we only use cardboard boxes. We use recycled paper towels, bamboo toilet paper. We compost everything that we can. We recycle everything that we can. We buy glass bottles when you can, which is difficult at a bakery, food guidelines. So that's kind of who I am.
Great. And we'll dive into more of that in a little bit. When you were starting the bakery, I guess you were encouraged by friends and family to do it. Was that difficult for you? Or were you like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea?
I was insanely naive and I thought it was yes, it was difficult. Yes, absolutely it was. And I came from a teaching background. My husband's in the entertainment business. I have a cousin who was in the food business, and he actually propelled me, and we sold a cheesecake Sammy, which is a 3-inch cheesecake on cookies. And the most obscene, ridiculous dessert. My husband and I were like, who would buy this? I guess you'd get it on a date night. We sold it at some great grocery stores out here in Los Angeles. It was a great introduction to the business. It made me learn how to run a commercial kitchen, learn how to, practice and add flavors and do all that. So shout out to my cousin, Brad Saltzman. So we did that for a while, and that kind of fell off the market, which was okay with me because what I wanted to do was these mini cheesecakes. I kind of think that's the way to go.
So I guess what inspired the mini cheesecakes?
So I've always made cheesecakes. I don't know why. That just kind of came in at my dessert. I'm a big baker. I learned from my grandmother, who was a home cook. So I guess my mother always says I was 2 years old standing on my grandmother's stool. My mother did not cook. My mother did not bake. I wanted to be the antithesis of my mother, just like every other mother-daughter relationship. So I pursued it just as a kid. I just always baked. As a friend of mine reminded me, she's like, yeah, you used to bring carrot cake to high school. I was like, I don't even remember that, but okay. So my niece got married at my house, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And she'd had a couple ceremonies before. We were the third ceremony. And so I said, you've already had wedding cakes. You've already done all that. What if I made cheesecake? She was like, oh my gosh, would you? That's amazing. So we had about 50 people. So I made about 80 cupcake-sized cheesecakes. And my cousins were some of those people, and they were like, this is just amazing. And my mother had always said you should open a bakery, but I kind of poo-pooed my mother. So anyway, so when this happened, I thought about it, and I thought, I'm in my early 50s. I'm a very by-the-book person. I don't think outside the lines. My kids are very creative and all think outside the lines. And I was just like, I think I should think outside the lines here. So I called this cousin and I said, David and I don't know anything about the food business. Could you come for dinner and help us? And he said, better than that. He owned he was a co-owner of an ice cream company at that point, and they said, we're looking for cheesecake to put in our ice cream. We think yours is the best. We're going to sample it. So he literally bought 3 9-inch cheesecakes from me, 3 different flavors. I don't even remember what they were at this point. And came back a week later. My husband and I thought we were going to sample ice cream. We came back with these cheesecake sandwiches he created. So that was my introduction to getting my foot wet.
That's awesome. So I guess why mini cheesecakes as opposed to full size? I know you also do full size.
I do full size because you can have a bite-sized one and say, that's fantastic. That settled my need for a sweet. I can move on. Or, my God, that was fantastic. I want 3 more and I want different flavors. And they're great for parties and they're great for events. They're bite-sized. You can pick them up with your fingers. It's like finger food. So that was my thinking behind it.
That's awesome. So I also know you do a large variety of types of little mini cheesecakes. How do you come up with the ones you want to do?
Just throw it at the wall and see what sells.
Yeah.
Just see what sells.
What's been the most surprising thing that you've found people have responded really well to?
I guess just the whole concept of it. Yeah, I think that's the most surprising. I mean, I was hoping that people would, but I think that's the most surprising.
I love that. What does a day in the life working at the bakery look like for you?
A lot of heartache. A lot of heartache, a lot of happiness, and a lot of heartache. It's hard. It's very hard. I mean, it's so much fun, and I have such a good time. So a day in the life of bakery looks with my getting here the earliest, and I bake the muffins, and I get the coffee cakes made. And, sometimes I have somebody, I usually get here an hour and a half before anybody else, just because I do. So I get everything started, and then I have wonderful people come in about 7:30, and we get everything out and get the coffee machines on. And some days we're super busy, and some days we sit here and say, let's play charades. And I tell everyone I hire, bring a book, bring your script you're writing, read the book you're reading, bring something to do, because you don't know if you're going to be standing around for hours or if you're going to be on your feet moving. It's a real... People always well, what's your busiest day? And I'm like, if I could guess that, I'd be a millionaire. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you my busiest hour. I couldn't tell you my busiest day. It's a crapshoot.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the sustainability aspects that you've kind of touched on earlier.
Sure.
So ingredients and community are important to you. Why is that?
Because if I don't save the world, who is? You have to understand, my husband and I both have been driving electric cars for 12, 15 years. We have a solar roof. We don't use liquid soaps at our house. We are really all in as much as you can be. So I just thought, well, why wouldn't I do that at a store? So if you have a coffee here, we give you a ceramic mug. We give you real plates, real forks, and utensils. As I said, I use compostable or recycled paper towels, napkins, and all that. I don't know who's going to save the world if we don't. And it's funny because my kids are all in their 30s, and they're pretty good about it because they grew up with it. But people I hire don't seem to get it in their 20s, and I'm kind of stunned by that. I'm kind of stunned.
Yeah. Where do you think that came from for you, so that you've done it for a long time?
Because I'm an LA native, and my mother used to drive down 5 miles away to recycle the newspaper in 1972 before there was curbside. It's just kind of how I grew up. Because I think California has always been at the forefront of it, or tried to be. And so I just kind of grew up that way. Don't get me wrong, I used to use plastic bottles and all that, but I'm super conscious about it now. And of course, there's times you can't help but do it. But whenever I can get glass, I do, or not get it.
Yeah, so I guess you mentioned some of the people that, work here don't always get it. Do you try to instill some of those values, or have you seen their values change over the course of them working here?
I have one person that's been with me, Crystal, for probably 5 years. She's my right hand, and I think hers have changed. I don't know that she had that much to change. She's also in her 20s. I think she already knew most of it. Some I see change, some I see don't care. I just always say, if I don't save the world, who will?
Can you, I guess, walk me through how you source your ingredients? Because I know you do farmers markets, right?
I do farmers markets for the fruits and vegetables. Other things you just have to buy commercially. I mean, there's no way around. I only buy non-hormone dairy. And we buy turkey, which I think all turkey is non-hormone. But line caught tuna in aluminum cans. as I said, there's only so much you can do. We do what we can do.
So I guess when you're sourcing, is it a little bit harder to find the better ingredients, or are more options becoming available? Have you seen, like, I guess over the years that you've been doing this, ways to buy better ingredients, or is it still just kind of
No, I think it's all available. I think you just have to look. And sometimes I pay a higher price for it just because that's me. And I always figure things come out in the wash. So maybe I pay higher for one thing, and then I make more money on another thing, and it kind of comes out in the wash. But like even my coffee, I buy Trinidad Coffee Company, and it's organic, fair trade. And I think their prices are going to go up with this new coffee increase. I know that. My prices will have to go up for that. But you can source things, and you just have to look.
If somebody, I guess wanted to open a bakery and they wanted to source their ingredients better, where would be the first place you'd advise that they look?
Listen, even Costco has good things. I have to admit, you can get quality stuff.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the baking products, but for like the things that go along with it. Like my coffee cups are compostable from Costco, I believe. I buy the cardboard boxes from Costco. You can do Smart and Final. I don't know nationwide what's available. I'm just speaking specifically for California, Southern California. But I think everyone's getting on the bandwagon. I think it's an important thing. I think that people are realizing more and more that we're falling off a cliff.
Yeah, it's important. So I guess on the food waste side, how do you guys handle food waste?
Oh, so food waste, we compost what we can. We also do and I don't know that this is nationwide yet, but it will be. It's a company called Too Good to Go. Mm-hmm. And so I'm part of that group. So every day from 1 to 2, we have people who pick up bags that we have prepared of food that didn't sell during the day. And if you're not on it, I suggest everyone get on it if it's local to you. It is a great deal. I always say, why am I such an idiot and I'm not on it? Because I don't have time to go pick it up. So from here, people will get things like our killer coffee cake, our vegan muffins, 3 or 4 mini cheesecakes. On Saturday, they get even more because it's the end of the week for us. They get a lot more. There's tiered pricing from, I think it's $5.40 for a $15 bag, $6 for a $16, something like that. And the vendor, us, we get a tiny percentage of it, but it's, reducing food waste, and that is so important.
That's awesome. I love Too Good to Go. We have it on the East Coast too. Mm-hmm.
Great. It's a great group.
So I guess composting, you compost here on site or do you take it somewhere?
So I used to take it home with me, and now the city of LA is requiring every new restaurant to have a bin out back. So we have big Tupperware things that we fill it up with daily and we put it out back. So the city now picks it up for us at my cost, but that's part of life. But yeah, I used to take it home with me every day to my compost at home.
Well, that's pretty cool then. I guess that the city is kind of facilitating it.
The city is definitely facilitating it. It's a requirement now.
So I guess you also touched on it, but packaging, you use all the, ceramic stuff in store, and then anything that is take home is compostable.
It's compostable or recyclable. Yeah, we do bamboo utensils, compostable cups, the cardboard boxes. Some are compostable, some are just recyclable. It depends on the size, them.
Have you had any kind of, I don't know, I imagine it's pretty commonplace here in LA. Do you find that people appreciate that?
I think some definitely do. Some don't even acknowledge it, and some absolutely do. And I used to, and I was in another location for 5 years, just a mile away. And I used to have people who came to me, like with school kids, who came specifically because we did all that, and they'd read about it. They're like, our school encourages this. So I haven't had that in this location. But yes, some people definitely appreciate it.
That's very cool. I guess you also had mentioned this, but better ingredients might often have a higher price tag.
Yes.
Do you find that it's worth it, or, you must find that it's worth it, right?
I find that it's worth it for my well-being. And I have a husband who is a bit of a food snob, and he's my taste tester.
Yeah.
And we actually just celebrated Passover Saturday night with the cousins. And I'd made 3 desserts, 2 of which I'd made here, 1 at home. And my husband's like, God, the chocolate you use is just outrageously good.
Yeah.
So for those responses, even if it's from my own family, it's all worth it.
That's awesome.
And that's Rodale organic chocolate baking powder, I think it's called.
Yeah.
From Costco. You can
From
get it in the
Costco.
grocery store, but Costco has it.
Are there things that you wish people knew more about sustainable baking or just sustainability in general that you find that people just are unaware of?
Well, again, it goes to pricing. I pay more for the cardboard boxes, the clamshell boxes that I use, because you can get plastic for 5 cents a piece, and these are probably 35 cents a piece. But for my well-being, I spend the extra money. So yes, I wish people knew there were options.
If somebody's just baking at home, what is something that they could do to make their own baking a little bit more sustainable?
Well, compost your eggshells or throw them in your garden. Throw your coffee grounds in your garden. If you have, even a patio garden, just throw everything in the pots. Or if you have the curbside pickup, move that. Just be mindful of what you're buying. Just, do the best you can. Don't use throwaway pans. Invest in a good cake pan that you can use for a very long time.
Do you network with other bakeries in the area at all?
A little bit, but not much. I got my start baking at one which is out of business one called ECD, and the owner and I are still friendly. She was so supportive and so great about it. And she actually started selling my cheesecakes there, which is what propelled me to say, hey, people are buying this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So people are very supportive, and we're all supportive of each other.
Do you think local businesses can really move the needle when it comes to sustainable practices, or do you think we need
No, I don't.
other changes too?
I don't. But the reason I say that is, at least for my own little business, it's very hard being seen.
Yeah.
It's like I sell non-dairy milk and all my coffees. I don't upcharge, never have. I know Starbucks now is not. Thank you, Paul McCartney. But I advertise it on Google, on Instagram. People don't come into me because I don't upcharge $1 for the non-dairy.
Yeah. That being said, if you think there are, if enough people start doing it, if the word gets out enough that maybe collectively we could make a change.
See, you're talking to somebody in California, in Southern California.
Yeah.
I think that 82% of Southern California already knows.
Sure.
So, for the broader audience, sure. I think the fact Starbucks, is you buying some new coffee cup, you don't even have to use anything, like it composts itself. Yes, I think it's being heard. And I don't even think it's on our level, though. I think it's so much bigger than a coffee shop. I think it's so much bigger. So, yeah, I think we all got to do our part and try, and that's the best you can ask for.
Have you found you've built a little bit of a community here? Do you have regulars?
Yes, very much a community. It's funny you say that. We are very much a community. I'm very welcoming. I give food to the homeless people who come in and ask for something. We try not to do it a lot. People are very comfortable here, and we have a lot of people who come in. One person comes in every single day and sits at the corner table, and he works here every day. And it's always a weird day, oh, he hasn't been in today. Where is he? We better call, make sure he's not sick. We are very much a community here, and I love that. And I think that's one of the greatest joys in my life about being here is people kind of count on us being here. And we're not open on Sundays and Mondays, and I always tell everybody who comes in, they're like, I'll be back. Don't come on a Sunday and Monday because I really hate to waste your time. And invariably somebody will come back oh, you forgot to tell me, or I forgot to listen. So yes, we are a community, and I love that. That is truly a joy.
That is amazing. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about your bakery, about the things that you do here, about just life in general?
I just say support your small local business wherever you are, whatever you're looking for, whether it's a T-shirt, whether it's a cup of coffee or a pastry, whether it's a doctor's office, just support your local. We're here. We're trying to make a difference. We're doing it because we love it. To support womanhood.
Absolutely. As aforementioned, I got to try some of the mini cheesecakes after the interview. I actually filmed the whole thing, but it's a lot of me just trying cheesecakes and saying that they're amazing. Watching me eat cheesecake is not nearly as fun as eating them yourself, so you're just gonna have to check them out yourself. Like I said, the cookie butter is probably my favorite, but you really can't go wrong. I'd like to thank Jennifer for taking the time to be interviewed. If you'd like to connect with Jennifer Pennifer Bakes, their information will be in the description. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, go ahead and drop a comment about what you found most enlightening about this conversation. And if you're on Apple or Spotify, please rate this show 5 stars as it really helps me out. And I will see all of you guys in the next episode.